tuning in. Today I'm going to show you how to put a new multimedia interface for CarPlay and Android Auto in the new shaped Bobcat. We have an exclusive fitment kit that we've engineered and a plug and play interface harness to make this really simple and easy for you. Let's get it started. To complete this installation on a new Bobcat, you'll need our world exclusive installation kit, which we have custom made for the purpose, and this particular Pioneer unit, which is the right size to fit in the space available. These amazing little IP68 rated speakers, which are small and hardy enough to work well in the space. In this particular package we're also fitting the optional reverse camera, and then here below our custom made fascia we have all the appropriate plug and play interface adapters, also exclusive. First thing we need to do is pull apart the few factory components to make space for the new kit and to run the harness. We'll do that now. I'll show you where the fasten points are. Already coming close. We need to release the Torx screw from up in this area and the Phillips head screws from along this area. We also need to remove these small screw or pop rivets and plastic rivets with a panel tool. You just want to pop the center pin out and then the full rivet will come away. There's a few of those around the perimeter of where we're running cables, so just remove those as you need. And you've got this handy cup holder down the bottom to put all your fasteners so you don't lose them while you're working. Let's bring the camera up a little bit. Make sure you also take out this center panel at the top, which is going to give you a little bit of extra room to move when you're removing the other panels and running the cables shortly as well. Released, we need to take our plug and play loom and connect that at a couple of points here and then run the cables along to our speaker locations. So coming close, Brody, and we'll show you that now. So connection point 1 is where the cigarette lighter socket power harness used to be connected, and that will give us our permanent power and ground connection. Connection point 2 is plug and play to the Deutsch plug. That'll give us a switched accessories that turns the unit on and off. Then we'll run along these seams, we'll run our speaker connection, our speaker wire, and along this seam through to the back to install the speakers behind the head area here within the cabin. I'll show you that now. This is our first connection point with the plug and play loom. Second connection point to the Deutsch plug. And then we're going to take these two speaker cables and run them to the appropriate places. You'll see one is longer than the other. The shorter one will go to the left rear and the longer one will come all the way around to the right. And to run that accurately, we're simply going to come along this section in parallel with factory cabling. Pop that panel off, tuck up in behind here. We'll cable that, tie that into position in a little while. And then we're going to duck out from behind this panel and along this seam to the speaker connection point. Now we've run the speaker cable through to this point, along this seam here and in behind the panel, we have to unfasten this screw and put the speaker mounting bracket into this position so we can position the speaker. Make that look a bit easier. Process for the other side, so you've got stereo sound for music playback. Next step is to drill a hole to accommodate the USB and headphone output socket. We're going to do that here on this panel just under the control system, just above the cup holder. There's a suitable spot with enough depth to accommodate this. I'll show you that position now. Right about here, we're going to use a suitable step drill to do so. Draw the USB cable through your new hole, up to this above panel up here. Put on the retaining nut so that we can get that on the back of the socket. Cut that. Cut that. Bundle up any excess with cable ties or some fabric tape. If you want some of this super pro sweet fabric tape, which is excellent for looming, we have it available on the website universalfuse.com.au. After you've bundled up your excess, which is a good length to attach the USB at the back of the unit, you'll also need to plug in the included 3.5mm to RCA adapter, which is the adapter to allow you to plug a set of headphones into this socket, and this will connect on the back of the audio unit that we're fitting to the front RCA outputs on the audio unit, and then you can comfortably listen to a set of passive or amplified headphones. So if you've got your own noise cancelling headphones that you want to use in the cabin, you can still plug them into this system and have full interactivity with all your multimedia through the CarPlay unit in your own headphones. If you're installing the optional reverse camera to the back of the vehicle, now is the time to make the connections at this end. There's the long extension cable, which will bring this through from your preferred location on the back of the vehicle, whether you mount this high or low. This 5-meter cable will get you through into the cabin here. In the camera box is this little adapter, which changes the camera cable connector to an RCA and power connector, which will plug and play to our pre-configured loom. On the pre-configured loom, you have this little power extension coming out of there, which is pre-soldered in, and that will connect to our power input on the camera loom, and then this will connect to the camera input on the audio unit, and that will connect to the extension cable to run through to the back. Now we've got the unit all mounted up with the fit kit and the fascia. We're going to do a power up test. So you're going to plug in your accessories connector into the back of the Pioneer unit. We're going to plug in all the accessories, the USB, the camera connector, and the microphone. Now we're actually going to need to take this front panel off and fasten this up at the end, and we'll show you that in a moment. But first of all, we'll do a quick power up test and make sure everything's operating before we build this panel in. Now we're going to plug in all our accessories. Start first with the external accessories harness, which will have your microphone and camera connector on there. Then you've got your main power harness and speaker connectors. Then we've got the factory pre-installed antenna. These are already mounted to the vehicle. You just need to scoop the antenna wire from up in this position and plug it into the Pioneer unit here. And then this is important, that's the USB extension with the included Pioneer Type-C adapter, which is going to run down to our socket down the bottom, and that plugs in here. Be very careful with that. That particular connector is easy to shear off if you reinstall it roughly, just so be very gentle with that connector. Now we can tuck this into place briefly before we do a final cable run and fasten it all with cable ties. We're just going to do a quick power up test. And there we go, we have power up. Going to remount the factory internal siren, warning siren, to that factory position. Bundled all your cables neatly in and put this panel back in position. We need to refit the fasteners. Better do another take on that because I fucked this one up. Cool. Alright, now we're going to mount up the GPS antenna on top of the unit. Just try not to get it behind the steel protective grille. We want to get it so it's got line of sight through the polycarbonate. So using some double-sided tape, mount the GPS antenna up on top of this panel, right about there. Alright, and then we need to mount the microphone into the forward fascia. So that's just going to clip into this position here, and you'll see the swivel ball clips into the fascia like so, giving a nice flush mount on the front. We can now screw our fascia into final position for final installation. After you completed your final power up test, refasten all panels, including the fascia and everything we took off before for our cable runs. Now, you've got a little bit of configuration to do to get this correctly set up. If you've fitted the aftermarket camera, you will need to turn the camera on in the settings of the Pioneer unit. You can access that by settings, general, camera settings. You'll need to switch that camera on. Once you've done that, you can customize the screen here. So the home screen is fully customizable, and you can select picture-in-picture mode, which is a very handy feature, and have the camera displayed at all times when operating regular multimedia. So you've got radio, if you're operating your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto wirelessly or via the USB connector that we fitted down the bottom here, then that information would be displayed in this section as well, in the Now Playing area, and you've got full live camera view. If you don't have the camera fitted or don't want that particular feature, you can turn all of this around and have your multimedia or messages displayed in this area here. So customize as required. But congratulate yourself, because you've just fitted the exclusive Apple CarPlay Android Auto system upgrade to the new Bobcat. It's a nice tidy fit, gives you an amazing control interface to spend a good hard days working in your new Bobcat. Thank you for watching. I hope this has helped you learn a few things about the integration of a new CarPlay unit to the Bobcat. For more videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Get across to the website universalfuse.com.au for a whole bunch of DIY packs for all sorts of different vehicles, or visit audiocom.net.au or the Audiocom stores in Western Australia for all sorts of plug and play vehicle packs and DIY solutions for you and your business.